Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. This week's portion is out of Metzorah. It's also Shabbos HaGodol, the Shabbos that precedes Pesach. Parsahs Metzorah, we have the Negoye Batim. We know that there's tzaras in last week's Parsha that can be found upon the flesh, the skin of a human being. It can be found upon one's clothing. And in this week's Parsha, it teaches us it can even be found upon the walls in one's home for those who live in Eretz Yisrael during the time of the Beis HaMikdash. The Ramban points out that even if someone would make the argument that the tzaras upon the flesh of a human being is a medical condition, which we know it's not, no one can possibly make an argument in regard to the tzaras that is found on the walls. It's not, we're not talking about mold and mildew, we're talking about specific types of colors that appear and how they are shaped and formed and where they are on the walls. This is beyond a shadow of a doubt, clearly the hand of Hashem. There is absolutely no scientific reason to justify the appearance of the tzaras upon the walls of one's home. And indeed that this is in order to inspire an individual and arouse them to the recognition that there are flaws in their character that need to be addressed. It is the divine hand of God. It's a miracle that we're witnessing, that Hashem is stirring our souls. He is arousing our souls to this recognition. It is a great kindness of Hashem. Yes, it involves quite an inconvenience for the homeowner, but if the person realizes the incredible loving kindness of Hashem, that he's sending him this divine miracle to awaken and arouse him, we would be greatly appreciative. This is when we lived in Eretz Yisrael during the time of the Beis HaMikdash. Without the Beis HaMikdash, we don't have the tzaras. We don't have these divine miracles to arouse us and to inspire us. So what can we do? What can be said for those of us today? Where do we search to have this inspiration? Where do we see the divine hand of God? We're all very familiar with the Manishtana, the 4 questions. And the answer that we give is that we were slaves in Egypt to Paro. And then we say, Afilu kulanu chachomim, kulanu nevainim, kulanu zakenim, even if we were all wise, understanding, and elders, even if kulanum yoidim es haTorah, even if we all are very well, expertly versed in the Torah, mitzvah aleinu lesaper b'yetzias Mitzrayim. There is a mitzvah for us to engage and tell the story of the Exodus with our families, with friends. And whoever increases goes beyond the minimal amount that is required to fulfill this mitzvah, this person is praiseworthy. The question is, what is it about Pesach that we have a mitzvah to tell the story of the Exodus? There's no mitzvah that says, tell the story of our experience at Sinai. When we came to Sinai and all that is described in the book of Exodus and Parshas Yisrael. In addition, we don't find by other mitzvahs where it says, whoever goes above and beyond, that person is praiseworthy. We don't find that by other mitzvahs. Doesn't say that if a person puts on their talis and tefillin and daven shachris, that if they put on their talis and tefillin again and everything and they daven mincha, oh, the person is praiseworthy. You don't see that. Why is it over here when it comes to discussing and telling the story of the Exodus, not only is it a mitzvah, a biblical mitzvah, but the person is praiseworthy for going above and beyond. And then it says this is true even if the individual is a chacham, a zokein, a nova, and the person is a tremendous Talmud chacham. The Rambam says that if the father is a simple Jew and his son is a great Torah scholar, the mitzvah is that the father should tell his son about the Exodus. What is he going to tell his son? The father's a simple Jew. He knows what he reads in the Haggadah. The son might know the entire Talmud by heart. He is a great Rosh Yeshiva. He is a great tzaddik. He is an elder himself. Everyone comes to flock to hear him. What could the father possibly teach his son? If anything, maybe the son should engage dialogue, talk with his father, but the father shep nachas from his son. No, the Rambam says the father should tell his son, what is this all about? We say, Manishtana halayla hazeh. Why is this night different? This is the introduction to the 4 questions. Why is it important to have this introduction? Why don't we just get to the 4 questions? It should say that a child asks his father, and he should say, why do we eat matzah nachomitz? Why do we dip our food? Why are we eating mora? Why do we eat as we are reclining? Why do we need this introduction about manashtana halayla hazeh? Why is this night different? Our sages explain that indeed the night of Pesach is unique and different. This night of Pesach, the portals of a spiritual illumination, this night of Pesach, the portals of faith are open and they are flowing unto us. Our responsibility is to see that we prepare ourselves as vessels and receptacles, that this flow of the spiritual illumination of faith can take deep root within our hearts. This night is different. That's the introduction. It is an incredible question. It sets the stage not just for these 4 questions, for the whole night. And the 4 questions follow to demonstrate, in which we see that there are differences. And the differences are that the flow of the spiritual arousal of faith taking root, the seeds of faith being planted within our hearts and souls, they're done through the mitzvahs. As we engage in the mitzvahs of the matzah and the maror, of dipping our food and everything that it means and reclining, these are the vehicles that enable us to be the proper receptacles and vessels to receive the illuminating spiritual arousal. The night of Pesach, the mitzvah is the mitzvah of recognizing our Creator and reaffirming our faith and allowing these seeds of faith to be planted within us. And that's why there is a mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. Telling the story of the Exodus of Egypt is not just, oh, this is what happened and very good, let's go eat. That's not what it's about. It's about allowing our souls to be stirred and recognizing that what God did for us then, He does for us always. In every generation, as they try to destroy us, it is God who is there, who allows us not just to survive, but to thrive. We are the people of faith, the Ma'aminim b'nei Ma'aminim. And the night of Pesach is all about being stirred with emunah in Hashem. Matan Torah, this is our duty. Receiving the Torah, that is our duty, our responsibility. This is how we take our faith and serve our Creator. But the night, the mitzvah of allowing our faith to take deep root, That's the night of the Seder, Halayla Hazeh. And it's done through the mitzvahs and the telling of this story. And therefore, even if a person has been up till 3 a.m. and they did finish the Haggadah, if they do even more, if they have the physical ability, and the whoever goes above and beyond are praiseworthy. Why? Because if you put on your tefillin, you did your mitzvah. I'm going to do my mitzvah again. You did your mitzvah. But when it comes to faith, there is no prescribed amount. Faith, attachment to God, sensing, feeling his love, his embrace, his warmth, his fatherly concern. This is something that has no boundaries. And yes, there's a mitzvah. This is what we should do the Haggadah. You do more, it's even more praiseworthy. And therefore it says that even if we're all very wise, no matter how wise and educated and great Torah scholars we might be, nevertheless, there is no border. There is no limit to the faith and appreciation and gratitude we can have for our Creator. And therefore, everyone should engage in sharing and fulfilling the mitzvah of talking about the exodus of Egypt. And why is it so important? The Rambam says that a father should tell his son, even if the father's a simple Jew and the son is an incredible Torah scholar, because its faith is not just the knowledge of our Torah. Faith is something which is also reinforced by the knowledge that this is nothing new. This is not starting with me, but I am a link in a great chain. This is what I'm hearing from my father, who heard from his father and grandfather, who heard from his grandfather, who heard from his grandfather, all the way back to Sinai and all the way back to Egypt, the very first Seder. My faith is reinforced not only when I hear the greatness and kindness and magnificence of God, his majesty, but also when I realize that this is the tradition, this is the way of the Jewish people. I am connected to Moshe and Aaron. I am connected to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. I'm connected to Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. That's why it is so important that we hear from our elders, not just to teach us. We might know. We can elaborate on all explanations of the Haggadah, but when I hear my father, I'm hearing from my Alter Zayda, my great-great-grandfather, and from his great-great-grandfather, and this helps in the planting of the seeds of faith. We might not have the Beis HaMikdash, and we might not be able to see the open miracles of God to arouse us, but Hashem has given us the remarkable Yontif of Pesach. Oh, it takes a lot of effort and preparation, there's no question, and it can be expensive. But can one put a price tag on this incredible opportunity in which we will have the arousal from heaven stirring our hearts and our souls as we become filled with faith from the mitzvah of talking about the Exodus? And one last point, and that is sometimes Hashem does show us divine miracles. What we witnessed this past week with over 300 missiles and rockets sent against Israel, and not one caused damage or casualties amongst Klal Yisrael. Not one. If somebody were to say, how much are you willing to bet? How many rockets do you think will get through? Yeah, the United States, France, Jordan, whatever, the Iron Dome, the Arrow, whatever we have, 300 rockets. How many do you think will get through? 50? 30? 10? Something's got to get through. Not one. Oh, of course, there'll be those who say, well, you see the great technology that Israel has. Yeah, we have great technology. Others have also had great technology. But we all know with technology, nothing is perfect. Not one rocket. Erev Pesach, Hashem is again showing us his outstretched arm, his strong hand. He is arousing us. May we be able to take full advantage of the magnificent Yontif of Pesach. And in merit of this, may we be able to witness the revelation of Mashiach speedily in our lifetime. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a wonderful Yontif.